There comes a moment in every life when suffering stops being an unwelcome visitor and becomes a permanent companion. Most people spend their days trying to escape it. They distract themselves with comfort, noise, and endless entertainment, believing that happiness is found in avoiding hardship. But the Stoics understood a truth that few are willing to accept. Long suffering is not the enemy. It is the forge where an unbreakable soul is created. Imagine a tree standing alone on a mountain. Every season it is battered by violent winds, freezing rain, and scorching heat. Year after year, the storms return without mercy. Yet instead of falling, its roots dig deeper into the earth. The very force meant to destroy it becomes the reason it cannot be moved. Human character grows in exactly the same way. The greatest weakness is not pain itself. The greatest weakness is believing that pain has no purpose. The moment you decide your suffering is meaningless, you surrender your power to circumstances. But the instant you choose to see hardship as training, everything changes. Your scars stop being signs of defeat and become proof that you endured what many could not. The ancient Stoics never promised an easy life. They believed that every challenge was an invitation to strengthen the mind. While others complained about fate, they searched for lessons. While others cursed adversity, they sharpened themselves against it. They knew that comfort makes people dependent, but suffering teaches independence. Think about the strongest people you have ever admired. Rarely were they shaped by years of luxury. More often, they emerged from seasons of loss, rejection, failure, and loneliness. Their greatness was not born despite those experiences. It was born because of them. Every hardship removed another layer of fear until only resilience remained. Your suffering is asking you a question. Will you allow it to define you, or will you allow it to refine you? That choice belongs to you alone. No philosopher, teacher, or friend can make it for you. Every difficult day is another opportunity to become someone stronger than you were yesterday. The world may never recognize the silent battles you fight. It may never applaud the nights you endure without giving up. Yet true strength has never depended on applause. It grows quietly, hidden beneath discipline, patience, and unwavering resolve. One day people will call you resilient, but they will never fully understand the price you paid to earn that name. So do not fear long suffering. Welcome it as the fire that tempers steel. What feels unbearable today may become the very foundation of your strength tomorrow. Every burden you survive is another stone laid beneath the fortress of your character, preparing you for a life that cannot be broken. The hardest battles are rarely fought before an audience. They unfold in silence inside the mind, where doubt whispers that your suffering will never end. It is here that most people surrender, not because they are weak, but because they mistake discomfort for defeat. The Stoics refused to make that mistake. They understood that the mind becomes powerful only when it learns to remain steady in the presence of pain. Every hardship places two paths before you. One path leads toward bitterness. The other leads toward wisdom. The event itself does not decide which road you travel. Your response does. Two people can endure the same loss, the same betrayal, or the same failure. One becomes consumed by resentment, while the other emerges stronger, calmer, and more disciplined. The difference is not fate. It is perspective. Imagine a blacksmith heating a piece of iron until it glows, bright with unbearable intensity. The hammer falls again and again, each strike appearing cruel to anyone who does not understand the process. Yet every blow removes weakness and shapes strength. Without the fire and the hammer, the iron remains ordinary. So it is with your life. The struggles you wish had never happened may be the very forces shaping your greatest character. The Stoics believe that external events belong to the world, but your judgment belongs to you. This simple truth changes everything. You cannot always choose what happens, but you can always choose the meaning you give it. The moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and begin asking, "What is this teaching me?" your suffering transforms into a source of wisdom instead of despair. Patience is not passive acceptance. It is disciplined endurance. It is the quiet decision to continue walking even when the road offers no reassurance. Anyone can remain hopeful when life is easy. True character is revealed when hope feels distant, yet your principles remain unchanged. Long suffering also teaches humility. It reminds you that control is limited, that pride can disappear overnight, and that fortune is never guaranteed. Instead of making you smaller, this realization makes you freer. You stop chasing certainty and begin trusting your ability to adapt to whatever comes. There will be mornings when your heart feels heavy and your progress seems invisible. Continue anyway. There will be moments when quitting appears easier than enduring another day. Stand firm anyway. Strength is not measured by how rarely you fall. It is measured by how faithfully you rise each time life knocks you down. One day, you will look back and realize that your greatest teacher was never comfort. It was a long season of suffering that demanded patience, courage, and unwavering resolve until the person who entered the storm no longer resembled the one who finally walked out. Every scar carried quiet wisdom forever. Strength is not built in extraordinary moments. It is built in ordinary days when no one is watching, when every small decision quietly shapes the person you are becoming. The Stoics understood that greatness is not the result of one heroic act. It is the reward of thousands of disciplined choices repeated until they become part of your character. Each morning presents a question. Will you complain about the burden before you, or will you carry it with dignity? Most people wait for motivation before they act, but motivation is unreliable. It appears when life is pleasant and disappears when hardship arrives. Discipline, however, remains. It keeps moving even when emotions grow silent. The Stoic does not seek comfort above all else. Comfort is welcomed when it comes, but never depended upon. Instead, the Stoic trains the mind to remain steady, whether life brings abundance or scarcity, praise or criticism, victory or defeat. This balance creates a freedom that circumstances cannot control. One of the greatest habits you can develop is the habit of acceptance. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means refusing to waste energy resisting what has already happened. The past cannot be rewritten. The storm cannot be argued away. Reality asks only one thing of you: respond wisely. Every moment spent wishing life were different is a moment stolen from becoming stronger. Gratitude also becomes a weapon. Not gratitude because everything is perfect, but gratitude because every challenge carries the opportunity to grow. The difficult conversation teaches courage. The unexpected setback teaches flexibility. The lonely season teaches self-reliance. Even pain has something valuable to offer if you are willing to receive the lesson instead of resisting it. Another Stoic practice is mastering your attention. The world constantly invites you to focus on what you cannot control. Endless opinions, uncertain futures, and the actions of others compete for your peace of mind. But your attention is one of your greatest assets. Guard it carefully. Direct it toward your own thoughts, your own actions, and your own principles. That is where your true power lives. There will always be reasons to lose hope. Life will present disappointments without asking permission. People will misunderstand you. Plans will fail. Time will take away things you treasure. Yet none of these events can force you to abandon your values unless you willingly surrender them. When suffering becomes familiar, many people allow it to harden their hearts. The Stoic chooses another path. They become stronger without becoming cruel, wiser without becoming arrogant, and calmer without becoming indifferent. Their strength serves others instead of intimidating them. Practice these principles every day, especially when they seem unnecessary. Calm is trained before chaos arrives. Courage is developed before fear appears. Resilience is earned before the greatest storm begins. Every long season of suffering eventually reaches a point where something inside you quietly changes. Not the circumstances, not the world around you, but the way you see it. What once felt unbearable no longer carries the same weight. The storms may still come, but they no longer define you. This is the final stage of Stoic transformation, when endurance turns into mastery. At first, suffering feels like punishment. Then it becomes training. But in the end, it becomes identity. You stop asking why life is difficult and begin to understand that difficulty is the natural state through which strength is revealed. Nothing lasting is built without resistance. Even nature follows this law. Trees grow stronger in wind. Rivers carve deeper paths through stone. And humans, through endurance, carve depth into their character. There is a quiet power in someone who has suffered well. They do not need to prove themselves loudly. Their presence alone carries stability. They have seen enough of life to stop being easily shaken. Praise does not inflate them. Criticism does not break them. They understand that both are temporary, both are external, and neither defines who they are becoming. This is where true independence is born, not from wealth, not from status, but from the realization that your mind can remain steady, regardless of what life removes or gives. You are no longer dependent on perfect conditions. You no longer wait for everything to align before you move forward. You act because discipline is now stronger than emotion. Even now, your suffering is still working on you. Every delay is building patience. Every loss is teaching detachment. Every moment of loneliness is strengthening self-reliance. Nothing is wasted unless you refuse to learn from it. The Stoics would say that the obstacle is not blocking your path. It is the path. So carry what you have endured with dignity. Do not rush to erase your past. It is the proof that you survived what once felt impossible. The version of you reading this would not exist without everything that came before it. And that means your suffering was never meaningless. It was shaping you all along. And now the question becomes simple. Will you continue to run from discomfort, or will you finally stand still and let it turn you into something unbreakable? The choice has always been yours, and it remains yours today. Do not mistake calmness for weakness. It is the highest form of control. When others panic, you observe. When others quit, you continue. When others seek escape, you remain present. This is how suffering is transmuted into strength that cannot be taken away. And in that silence you discover freedom no comfort can ever give. Freedom that remains even in the hardest moments of life. If this message found you when you needed it most, follow for more timeless Stoic wisdom. This may be the last time these words reach you, but the strength they awaken can stay with you forever.